Watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Happening now at 6, covering the entire DMV. Unlawful on campus. The president of one DC university with the strongest statement yet about a pro-Palestinian encampment, what the school says about non-students disrupting others, and more police out of nearby. And catching a killer. The search for whoever shot a 3-year-old Friday night, that's ongoing. New details about what happened that evening as a memorial grows. And a bathroom battle. Virginia is suing to keep trans students from using bathrooms aligned with their gender identity. The latest.
And as far as weather's concerned, we still have the clouds around, and it's been kind of gray again, but at least temperatures were a little milder than yesterday. That's a positive. We'll talk about that, the temperatures, and what to expect overnight today, and share the latest radar, all coming up.
Spring storms on the way. Forecast is as well. Scott, thank you. And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6 this Sunday evening. I'm Ben Dennis. Developing right now, police in Prince George's County say that 6 people were sent to the hospital tonight after several cars crashed in Suitland around 4 p.m. Taking a live look at the scene right now. Officials say it happened at the intersection of Silver Hill Road and Silver Park Drive. You can see that mangled metal in Suitland there. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. And a memorial grows tonight for 3-year-old Taya Settles, who was shot and killed in Southeast on Friday. Gunfire erupted in the Garfield Heights neighborhood where she was shot while inside of a car. Tributes are pouring in outside of the Garfield Hills apartments just a few feet away from where that shooting happened. Somebody brought her to a nearby fire station where police and fire tried to save her life until U.S. Park Police flew Taya to the hospital where she died. Police say 7 total cars were damaged in that incident. Police are still looking for the shooter. Meantime, Maryland State Police say that 1 person is dead, nearly 24 more hurt after a bus crash in Harford County. We're told it happened just after 6 o'clock this morning on I-95 near Bell Camp. Police say a bus with 25 people was traveling north when it lost control, hit a guardrail. 1 person died on scene. 23 others sent to the hospital. The crash is still under investigation. And we said at the top of our newscast, college protest. The protest at George Washington University is in week number 2. New tonight, the school's president out with strong words, saying the encampment there is unlawful and non-student demonstrators don't have the best interest of the community in mind. DC News Now's Dave Laval joins us from GW. Dave, the university president, released that new statement as those protest demands continue. Tell us more.
Well, Ellen Granberg made her strongest comments yet regarding the camp set up in and out of the university yard. Granberg says she supports efforts to speak out on controversial topics as long as demonstrators follow university policies and the district's laws. However, and we're quoting here, what is currently happening at GW is not a peaceful protest protected by the First Amendment or our university's policies. The demonstration, like many around the country, have grown into what can only be classified as an illegal and potential dangerous occupation of GW property. Protesters, organizers told us they're not surprised by the statement.
I think the letter really just cements what we already know, which is that the university does not know what to do with us, and that they are willing to try every tactic in the book, but they are not willing to meet our demands.
Granberg also said the demonstrators with no ties to the university are taking part in this protest. And something else that we've noticed since we've been out here for a couple of hours now, we've seen more of a presence from university and DC police. We're live at George Washington University. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, thanks. The U.S. Secret Service says a man is dead after crashing his car into the White House perimeter gate overnight. Happened around 10:30 p.m. at the intersection of 15th and Pennsylvania Avenue in Northwest, of course. Police say the car crashed into the gate at a high rate of speed. Officers attempted to give first aid, but the man died there. Secret Service says there's no threat to the White House. The crash is being investigated by D.C. police. There have been other incidents you may remember of drivers crashing into White House gates and barriers. Back in January, driver arrested after crashing his SUV into a gate. President Biden was not there at the time. And you may remember last May, a man from Missouri arrested after driving a U-Haul truck into one of the barriers at Lafayette Square. Police say 19-year-old Sai Kandula was planning to harm the president. After the crash, Kandula exited the truck with a Nazi flag and started shouting at park police and Secret Service officers. He was charged with threatening to kill, kidnap, or inflict harm on a president and assault with a deadly weapon. Plenty of news out there in the DMV. Time is 6:04. Scott, we had a misty and drizzly look at the Kennedy Center yesterday. Not the case today. Not the case.
Yeah, a little clearer picture out there, and temperatures a lot warmer. That's the big turnaround. Of course, we still have gray skies out there, and we even have some rain showers out there like we did yesterday, although not quite as numerous. Let's say that. Let's not try and get too wordy here. As numerous as yesterday. We have a coastal flood advisory here. This goes till 9 o'clock for time of high tide. Obviously, there's no rain in the district at this particular moment in time. However, there could be as we go into the evening hours. As you'll see here, quite a bit of shower activity down towards King George County in southeastern Virginia, which is now starting to move across the Potomac. We'll move into southern Maryland there, in towards Calvert County, as well as Charles County here in a short amount of time. We also have some showers out towards Shenandoah's Valley region and the Shenandoah County as well. So that again is fairly light as our future radar shows. This moisture coming out from the south will continue to do so, but it doesn't look to be overly great in intensity, but rain is still on the way potentially for the district. Right now, 72 and overcast skies are being seen here at the Kennedy Center and elsewhere, but that's a good 17-degree temperature change on the rise from where we were just this time yesterday. Same for Waldorf, as well as other places in and across the region here. So the warming trend will continue not only today, but into tomorrow. We'll talk about that and the 7-day forecast coming up.
Temperature change indeed. Scott, thank you. Meantime, the National Park Service is planning to allow D.C. to demolish RFK Stadium. It's crumbling. This comes as it announced earlier this week the stadium is being cleared for demolition. Just last month, the Park Service found that the demo would have no significant impact on the environment there. RFK opened back in 1961. It was home to 3 major sports teams. It has not been used since 2019.
I remember going to D.C. United games and to Nationals games when they first moved here for a couple of years. Other than that, it's just been kind of this eyesore sitting there. Glad that it can get demolished. It's time for it to come down. Although I prefer they put more sports fields here on this area versus the new stadium for the Commanders.
The Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development tells us that the process will take them one step closer to putting the land to better use. In Maryland, Montgomery County Public Schools announced their Teacher of the Year as Melissa Porter Parks. Ms. Porter Parks, she's an English language development teacher at Gaithersburg High, is now in consideration for Maryland Teacher of the Year. Montgomery County reporter Christian Pena has her story.
She's teaching immigrant children English, and for that reason, her students are calling her the best teacher in the world.
Melissa Porter Parks is filled with emotions knowing she's creating a difference.
Learning a content in another language and having their brains work the way they do. I think it's awe-inspiring.
Ms. Porter Parks oversees the largest English language development department in MCPS. She's focusing on teaching her more than 800 students that it's okay to be different. Ms. Porter Parks' Central American students say she gives you her all, and as someone from Nicaragua, that's everything. She helps us how to understand one another, no matter what. Ms. Porter Parks' department has seen a graduation rate increase by nearly 30%.
She has really created a warm and welcoming environment for our students, especially our newly immigrated students, coming into a very large school system.
But what keeps Ms. Porter Parks going?
I want to break the barriers for my kids because I had teachers who helped push me despite not having the financial means to go to college, despite working 3 jobs in high school.
Breaking language barriers one class at a time. Her goal is to make sure no student feels left out.
My goal is always to let kids know that I'm here for them. My goal is always to approach every student with that unconditional positive regard.
Ms. Porter Parks students tell me she's always willing to connect with her students on a personal level. For more on her story, give us a visit at dcnewsnow.com. For now, reporting at Gaithersburg High School, I'm Christian Pena, DC News Now.
Well, thanks to Christian. In the Commonwealth, Virginia is joining several Republican states challenging newly expanded protections for transgender students. One of President Biden's new Title IX rules says that schools cannot stop trans students from using restrooms that match their gender identity. The rules also include new safeguards for victims of sexual assault. A federal lawsuit, which Virginia is part of, argues the rules clash with state laws Some of those laws do restrict which bathrooms trained students can use. The rules are set to take effect in August. Student safety is top of mind for every family, no doubt. In Northern Virginia, one school division is considering making a large investment to increase safety measures at elementary schools. Haley Milon explains how Loudoun County schools are weighing recommendations to put security officers in each of those schools.
Loudoun County Sheriff Mike Chapman says he's in favor of placing school resource officers at all Loudoun County elementary schools. This comes after a blue ribbon panel review of student safety led to a recommendation to place security officers at all schools. The recommendation doesn't specify, though, whether those officers should be sworn law enforcement officers or privately contracted security guards. Now, according to a 2019 report, staffing all 62 elementary schools would cost between $10 and $15 million each year. Chapman tells DC News Now that law enforcement officers would be ideal for the role.
It's important for us that we have people that are sworn law enforcement officers, that in the event that we have some sort of a tragedy at a school, an active shooter incident, something to that effect, that they all know how they all work together and they know how the emergency response system works and how we communicate with other agencies, how we communicate with fire and rescue, how we set up command posts.
We asked County Chair Phyllis Randall for her thoughts on the recommendation, and she said she's looking forward to reading the full report. I'm Haley Milon, DC News Now.